great to have you rejoin us. You're still watching the Happy Business Morning. This indeed is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies, of course, affecting businesses and the economy of the southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Happy Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be looking at brands and the Southeast. We're looking at the business angle to this. Now, it may interest you to know that sometime on Sunday, we, right here on Afia TV, had a social media session that focused on the question, are big brands snubbing Southeast events? Well, we will therefore interrogate this further and hopefully draw conclusions on this matter, possibly preferring solutions if we can. These issues and more will form the basis of our conversation this morning. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome. All right, joining me on this conversation around the case of brands of the Southeast, the business angle, is Dr. Sami Edran Jufo. I hope I pronounced that properly. Chairman, he is basically the chairman of Color Code Group. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here for the 17,400th time.
Don't get tired of it.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, great. Before we get into this issue proper, I want us to have an excerpt of some of the session we had recently. Some particular conversations popped out for me, and I want us to take a look at it really quickly. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back. We begin this conversation.
Oh, well, somebody earlier said that guy, the
Chris.
guy, he said something about, I'll call it eye service.
Okay.
You know,
This one pain, he said.
in the last 8 years, I've held it down in the East.
Okay.
I've done everything. I've done comedy shows. I've brought basket mount. I've brought movie.
True.
I've done open mic. Open mic was 3 years.
And all of these events
Sunday
had
of the
no
month.
corporate
Yes.
sponsorship.
Yes, was only one, and that was Bovi, because Bovi was involved. So he was brand ambassador for one of the brands. And what they gave us is just like who we just might.
Okay, like a pocket money.
Yeah, but for us, it's at that point,
It was huge.
that was the first time.
Okay.
So it was a big deal for us, you get.
Yeah.
So we've done art exhibition. In fact, the art exhibition, my dad is an artist, so I love arts. 5 years, no sponsors for 5 years,
Okay.
Then, we're doing fashion now. But thank God, I think over time, the experience you gather, the interaction you have, and also God make one person just listen to you. Yeah, one person just listen to you and be like, okay, take this.
100K.
But what I do is, I will not take product from any brand.
Okay.
If you are not giving me money, forget about it.
And
Because I'm
that's
going to spend
superior
money.
from Ohis.
Yes, I'm going to spend money for my hall. My hall is not cheap.
It's
I'll do
not.
publicity.
This is
Yes.
not
It's
cheap.
not. So, what he said, yes, there's lots of eye service. She wants to do an event. I know she's doing an event, but I'm not supporting the event. The reason not me, I support everybody.
Sure.
People don't support event. When they now see that your event is already a success, they now
want to
start
identify
playing.
with it.
Yes. Now, when they have events, you see them chasing after you.
Right? We're talking about big brands and you're thinking Lagos only. What
Yeah.
of brands here
Homemade.
that can help these festivals, these events gain visibility? Very recently, something happened to me that almost shook me out of the event space. I have my colleague who does same thing I do in Lagos. She's Igbo, by the way, but she does it outside the East. And she has made up her mind she wouldn't do anything East until eventually, after I've done it for 7 years, she thinks, let me try.
There's a market.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I did 10,000 buyers last year from our record. I mean, there are people who didn't even scan the code to give us their contact. So even from the ones that scanned, we got 10,000. Can you imagine those that didn't scan? I said, okay, your books are looking good. Let me come and try. And then she steps into this sitting. And in her first touchdown, a government body picks her by the hand, takes her straight to the governor, and says, she's coming here to do something. Please, can we support her? This same government body for 7 years had sent letters to them. No, this person in charge of this government body had my number personally. So it's not like he hears it on the air. I give him letters. We sit down, we meet ourselves in other events. We talk about it. He says, oh, I want to come, and all that. And for 7 years, not for once has this person ever said, how can we come in? I mean, Vera, it's okay to say maybe I package my proposal and be speaking plenty gram. I've literally said, guy, you something.
You're so Igbo.
Literally. And this person looked me in the eye and said, we don't have anything in the budget. No, even if you say you don't have financial capacity, you have human capital, like taking somebody to the governor.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And so this, my friend, steps out from that meeting and calls me and says,
Wow.
she said, Neme, the moment you step out from this Enugu, go and do this your master's in UK now and come back.
Yeah.
Or say that a brand is inviting you in Lagos to do 6 months of something, packaging, kini for them, and return. You see how people here will start carrying you like a king. Because she herself is Igbo. It's just that her product has never sold in Igbo land. So she keeps selling in Lagos. The moment she starts to step into Enugu, for the first time in her business life, someone carries her by the hands and gives her, oh my God.
Now you've just, you've gotten a feel and pulse of where this conversation is pretty much going already. I still have with me Dr. Sam here, and we're going to be looking at this. Now, your thoughts first before I come into anything else. I mean, quite a number of things have been said from that particular clip we've seen. Quite a lot of issues have been raised, bordering on the fact that, number one, sometimes our problem is us. That was emphasized. The other part is the fact that most of these brands are not even looking this way for obvious, whatever reason. But let's talk about, what are your thoughts generally on that first before we come to whatever can event organizers gain in the process?
First and foremost, like we said while it was being played, I want to commend Afia, Chief Emeka, Vera, yourself, every team member that had that Twitter space. It was timely. And like I said, it should be a continuous conversation. For far too long, there's something he said that the Lagos audience tells the story of Nigeria, not just the East. So the perceptions of Nigeria is developed, manufactured, cooked in Lagos, all about Lagos. But nobody is telling our story. So enter Afia. Afia comes, starts to tell the story. And we are on DSTV, so it goes farther. There's nothing that was said in that session, which I was part of for a while, that was a lie. When we talked about, I know who she was referencing. You know, you guys gathered a group of people who have been in events. I've been in events in Enugu since 2014. Dr. Kachiogwa and I co-founded an event called, he mostly did the founding, I supported him, TWS. It was a wedding showcase. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, we did not have one sponsor. I wrote proposals. Plus his connections, we wrote proposals. I'm professional in proposal writing. There was no angle we did not cover. We went to Lagos, did presentations, everything. And then you know that in Lagos, there are also cabals, I use that word, before you break into the first level, second level, for a brand to support you. And then when you look at the environment, you ask yourself, like something she said, why are we looking at the brands in Lagos? What happens to the brands in the East? What happens to the brands in the South? Why are we always dependent on Lagos, a place that have created a kingdom for themselves, and that kingdom is working and thriving? You can't expect that. I was thinking to myself recently, I said, what is it that we ask from Lagos? Oh, okay, come and support us. We consume most of your product. Where's the data? How do you know? Then we talk about insecurity. Who caused it? Is it the Lagosians? When we were having all the agitations, didn't we know the ripple effect of what it's going to do for us by putting a sit at home? All these things come together to give further excuse to people who didn't even actually want to do anything.
In the first instance.
In the first instance. So you gave them a plausible excuse. In Lagos, that we're talking about, the state governor from Fasho last time to Sanwo-Olu to Ambo this time to Sanwo-Olu's time have created a revolving fund in billions for the creative industry.
Yeah, true that.
Which of the 5 southeastern states has created a fund for entertainment when Nollywood started in the East? Why do we have movie producers today from the southwest part of Nigeria owning ranches and film locations, and we here, we don't have any? You don't need to blame anybody but ourselves. When we talk about the event industry, it is a thriving industry. Without events, nothing will go on. Social life will go down. So when people are developing events in whichever part of Nigeria, what the brands normally should look out for is return on investment, exposure. If they get this exposure and they put in investment and say, look, we want this product to move, what brands do, either they do activations, they go and do small events, try to get small demographic with the data they have. But Ubong, the problem we have here is we don't have the data. We don't have, I commend her for saying she had 10,000 binds. That is data. How many other event people have that data that you can go to somebody and say, we have this amount of people? But I assure you, you can take that data and go to Lagos and have at least a response. If you take that data to the average industrialist here, he doesn't take you serious. You don't blame anything on Lagos. I have events of mine. I've written proposals, and they'll say, send an email, you send an email. And I know from insider report, as soon as I mention Southeast, they lose interest. But their products are here. You also look at their representatives here. I'm saying it at the risk of anything. Look at their representatives here. What are they representing to their headquarters about the Southeast? How many things, how many events have grown from the Southeast and become national events? 0. Because number 1, we didn't have a coordinated media approach. Number 2, we didn't have a strategic approach. Number 3, we are not a coordinated industry. If you look at Port Harcourt now, the breakout events are Bole Festival, for instance.
Yeah.
Young people running it. There's no person over 50 running that event. Young people. What have they done? They've gathered the demography. And you know what? The statistics have revealed that a greater percentage of Nigeria's population are the young people.
Yes.
How come that you know that my event has gathered a lot of young people? How come we are living in a state that has the highest number of tertiary institutions in the southern part of Nigeria, only compared to maybe Lagos or a few states in Nigeria? How come you don't run after brands, after events, after festivals? Why? There are a lot of factors that are playing. But if the Lagos market that everyone is begging to support us doesn't want to support you, then what is the market within the East doing? Are we doing more politics than economy? I say it to people. I say, why do we have a stock exchange in Lagos? But I thought all the businessmen are from the East. Peter Obi tried the stock exchange in Onitsha. We are traders, not businessmen. We have not transmuted from trading to business. So at the end of the day, we event planners, media people, we are at the whims and caprices of whichever person wants to give you 10 naira, and they'll do as if they're doing you a favor. They need you. But we have not created that data. And number 2, we are playing local. How many events have we done that everybody comes together? In Lagos, you will see the same person in this event, same person.
Right,
it's happening. People like Ohis, people like myself.
Sure.
We do not say, okay, it's not my event. Before I started thinking about my event about April this year, I was in a lot of people's events, just going around, helping, supporting. If you create that community and everybody connects to it, we say, okay, Super Sam, you're a media person, Ubong, you're a media person, we need you guys to come together. My event, I'm bringing everybody together. It's not Super Sam's event. It's Beer and Barbecue, it's homecoming. Afia are doing a homecoming package for events. This is the way that we will help promote, but there are a lot of other steps we need to take.
Okay.
And those steps, if we keep sitting and complaining, we'll never get it. We need to ask the brands in the East who don't think they are brands. It's not about supporting us. It's not a charity case. It's a business relationship. I think they're looking at it as a charity. You're coming to beg me for money. Oga, your audience, the people you're looking for, I have them. Can we discuss?
Exactly.
So if you keep looking at us as a charity case, and And if we keep talking about Lagos, we are putting ourselves in that chai ticket situation. Hey, don't you see us in the East? You're marginalizing us. No. What is the business profits they will get?
Now, that brings me to the case of returns on investment, right? Is one thing for an event, person to create an event and execute, right? It's another thing for the person to have returns on investment, plus, of course, whoever it is that is sponsoring or putting his money down. Now, how do we strike a balance here?
Lots of times, people who have events start from the point of passion. If I'm a fashion designer, why don't I just put other fashion designers together? We start from the point of passion. It's after maybe 2 or 3 editions we start thinking the business. So we are more selfless. And when an investor looks at you as being selfless, he doesn't see a place where he's going to put his money and get his investment back. But when we start thinking, the first one, let's do it, and these sponsors see that anything they say, you agree. Anything they say, just bring your brand, just put it there. Like somebody told me, he said, your first edition, just put all the brands, put all the logos on your billboard, put everything. So when somebody sees it, they'll think that your event was big. That's not right. When you move from the point of passion and then you move to the point of what will this person benefit and what will I benefit?
Right.
So you start looking at the business angle of it. You start thinking, what exposure will this person get? What exposure will I give? And what will be the gain at the end for both of us? If this person sees that I come out with a presentation, which many events, I can speak, I don't know personally, I know for Santa Fe, I know for Ohis, I know for Naza of Food and Fashion, I know for myself. I know that a lot of them will put out proposals and give you the financials. But let's also not forget that some people have also done less than that to a brand to sponsor them, and the brand has found out that they did not make anything in return. The person who organized that event just thought, oh, these people are going to give me money. He gave him money, used a little bit of that money, and did some kind of event. But the crowd that was needed, the exposure that person needed didn't come through. And you know that these brands are connected.
Yeah.
And their brand managers are connected. You say, you just did an event in Enugu. How was it? Because another person wrote proposal, said, leave those people. I came and did this place and this thing. I didn't even see anything. Even if there was something they saw, it did not meet and exceed it. Because the brand managers have to report to their bosses and say, we put in 10 million here. Nothing came out. If we start looking at that point and try to redeem our image, there will be a difference. Number 2, many of the brands look at the person who is presenting this thing. Say, who is this person? What is his pedigree? Can we trust him? What's the reputation of this person? And if they are not seeing anything matching, they begin to draw back and they begin to demarket you consciously or unconsciously. So if we are looking at the return on investment, what we are selling is humans. That's what we are selling. We only have humans to negotiate with. I will tell you that 10,000 people come for my event. Can 10,000 people come for my event? Good. What is the purchasing power of the 10,000 people? Will they be able to purchase whatever? What exposure would they? What would be the ripple effect? So the return on investment is not just financial. What does it do from the exposure of my brand? Now, Ubong, let's not also forget that down here in the East, we have this culture of why SMEs don't work. It's because a lot of people feel that SME owners, I don't need to advertise. I don't need to go to AFIA. AFIA is saying 400,000 for it. I'm just saying, if they are saying 400,000, which is too cheap for one 60-minute, 60-second video, so what will I give them 400,000? People will come to my place. Let me go and look for one influencer to put on my billboard. I'm doing real estate. Let me go and pay somebody on social media. And when you're doing all that, you don't know that at the bottom end, the audience that watch these channels down east are not seeing these things. So you feel like someone opens a hotel and he just invites his friends and they come and they do one kind of show around the hotel. They bring one guest and they just open a hotel. They open a club. And then you look at it and the person says, I don't need anybody. I know this person. In fact, when you go and see the person say, do you know Brother Shaggy? I have his number. Do you know this person? I have his number. We do it as a means of pride, but it has killed businesses here. It does not help us. When someone says, why do I need to spend money on advert? I beg, advert, does it bring money? Go and ask radio stations, media houses why they are not making money. Because the average person here feels, I don't need to put money here. Don't worry, people will come. So how does it help emerging businesses, events? It doesn't. Somebody on Facebook about this event, this Twitter space we did, I will still draw back because it was a very painful statement.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, the person said something loosely that there are too many similar events in Enugu. Enugu is not Lagos. Enugu, that this person does this event, Enugu is... What the person was basically saying is that we have too many events in the East. Baba, the East is 5 states. Lagos is one strip of land that lies between Ogun State and Ondo State and Oyo State. That's just Lagos. And the entire population of the East, you think it's like when foreigners say Africa and they call all of us Africa is a country. No. We have individual states. We are all different subnationals. If you're looking at, it is a person from the East, from Enugu, that said that statement. Meanwhile, you go to Lagos, and something what he said is true. Like I talked about what Lagos, they put a creative fund. Then they have a way to know whether your event is meeting the target. So they'll know, okay, let's help you with this. If Enugu state government had created that fund since Sullivan, imagine where it would be. Imagine the inflow of cash you would have had. But unfortunately, we are the ones who are killing ourselves. It's not the marketing somebody's event. It's the marketing the East to the outside. If you don't tell somebody, we had Eastern Nigeria International Film Festival. We have Coal City Film Festival in the same Enugu. Doesn't mean anything. Abroad, you have the Oscars, you have the Emmys, you have the SAG Awards.
Yes.
In the same Hollywood, California, they don't do anything outside California. The state of California, the whole of America comes to California. The Atlanta, big Atlanta that is becoming a movie here comes to California. Why are you now saying that we have too many events? In Lekki alone, do you know the stretch of events that happen?
Yeah.
They've even moved their events.
Yes,
they move their events across the ocean, and they go to beach houses and do events every day. Clubs are not closing down. Hotels are not closing down. What of the Southeast, when Enugu wants to do an event? What happens when Ofala Festival happens in Onitsha? How many brands from the East support that? Baba, it's Glow that comes to support it. What of the Eastern brands? When Glow supports the Ojidoba Festival or supports Echo Festival, what of the Innocents? What of, where are we? So I think there's a lot of questions that needs to be asked.
Answered. Yeah.
And that's a problem.
I wish we had more time, but we don't. Our time is already fast spent. And not to worry, we're going to be having another edition of this Twitter space again this Sunday. Information will come to you as the planning is concluded. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. This will be the size of the package on the Eastern Business Report. And of course, I played host to Dr. Sami G4, who is the chairman, Color Code Group, and we took out the time to look at brands and the Southeast, the business angle. And you can join in the conversation, drop off a comment or two on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business, and while you're there, remember you should like and subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You can also follow us on Instagram. Do well to join us at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Coming up next is Onye Afia. My name is Ubong Kings. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned.